You and I have talked about this over and over again. This is why you're on the show all the time. You are a pray 5 times a day Muslim, and you have been speaking out. And I have been saying over and over again, Muslims, you've got to do it now, because the day something like this happens, it's going to be too late. I mean, Zuhdi, project, if you will, if this happened, you or your family going to be comfortable leaving your neighborhood? And I'm telling you, this is the worst thing that could possibly happen. This is why I'm doing this series. You cannot go out and round people up because they're Muslim. Bad guys are bad guys. Good guys are good guys. But are you going to feel safe? What do you think happens the day if this happened?
We have to be strong. We can't allow terror to get what they want. As Edmund Burke said, the old quotation, for evil to triumph, good men need to stay quiet. And we can't do that. I mean, as I start my fast tomorrow in Ramadan, I know that part of my cleansing of what I do is to gain the strength, not just to condemn terror, but to get Muslims to wake up and start condemning Al-Qaeda, to declare war on them frontally, so that Americans know that we're not only going to run to defend our mosques, we're going to run to defend every America. We don't care primarily about our mosques, but we care about every American and our way of freedom. And remember, Glenn, if we give up liberty and freedom in exchange for a military state in response, we would have lost. That's what they want. They thrive in secular dictatorships.
And you know what, Zuhdi, and you and I haven't met before, and I really have a lot of respect for what you're doing, but the time is running out for the moderate Muslim community to raise a voice that's heard in this country. If you look at FBI statistics, in 2000, there were 48 hate crimes against Muslims in the United States. After 2001, after 9/11, that number jumped 17-fold to 481. I am so worried about what might happen in this country, as much faith as I have in my fellow citizens. The Muslims of this country who are moderate, who are secular Muslims, who do not believe in the Islamist movement, really need to make their voices heard, and we need to help them make those voices heard, whatever it takes.
And you're exactly right, because the numbers you gave, actually still in perspective, are actually pretty low. It used to be almost negligible, and now it quadrupled, like you said. So what we have to do is Americans need to see us leading a charge and not just sleeping and not being apologists.
Bernie, let's say you were the commissioner of police in any town in America, and this happened they attacked schools and raped and murdered children in 5 different schools in 5 different places in America. What the hell do you do?
Well, the response, number one, has to be immediate.
I don't mean on the schools. What do you expect? What do you say? You deal with the schools, but as the police commissioner, you also have to look at the community. What are you expecting?
You know what, Glenn? It's nothing we didn't have to do after September 11th. And when you talk about the attacks on Muslims, we had, if I'm not mistaken, we had about 150 bias crimes against Muslims, or people that were perceived to be Muslims, in and around New York City, in Brooklyn. You know, it's sort of an educational process, and I think what you're doing is really good on a national level. People have to realize Muslims, for the most part, are law-abiding citizens. They're good religious people. But if the American people don't know and understand that, you know, when something like this happens, they're on the attack.
Zuhdi, one last question to you. Tommy Franks said something that really disturbed you. What did he say?
Yeah, in 2003, to Cigar Aficionado, he said that if we have a nuclear attack, a dirty bomb attack, that America would have to set aside the Constitution and have a military law. And I don't think he understands why terrorism thrives in Egypt and in Saudi Arabia, because they are dictatorships and military law. We can't give that up.
I have to tell you, I thought a nuclear attack would be the worst thing that could happen to this country. I don't think so. I think the perfect day is. Zuhdi, Bernard, Brad, thank you very much. We will be back tomorrow for a final installment tomorrow night, an important discussion about preparation. There are practical things that parents and teachers and police and even our own children have to know in case the worst ever happens in their community. You can't wait for the attack to occur before you take action. The panic and the chaos would be just overwhelming. You and your family must prepare now. Also, I want to remind you, all week we've been running a special report from our guests in my free email newsletter available at glennbeck.com. Tonight, we have tremendous, passionate articles about the aftermath of the Perfect Day attack from both Zuhdi Jasser and Commissioner Carrick. You'll also receive tomorrow's reports with our experts' preparation tips, along with video from Afghanistan of terrorist training for a school takeover in English that I've been telling you about all week. Again, it's completely free, but you must go right now to glennbeck.com and sign up. We'll be back in just a minute.